Hey everyone, it's Pal Ponder on Weather coming back to you live here. It is 4:30 here on Wednesday. So we're tracking this severe weather threat and tornado outbreak. Unfortunately, for a good chunk of the southeast, you can definitely see all these areas that are highlighted in the pink here are under a tornado watch. This is a very rare event, not only a tornado watch, but a PDS watch. Hey Ben, how are you doing? Thanks for watching. Not only a tornado watch, but a PDS watch. That is the most dangerous threat you can have. They put out a very high risk of severe weather. And unfortunately, they have a PDS, which is what they call a particularly dangerous situation for the next between now and through 7 o'clock. And I do feel like that will possibly even be extended into the overnight hours. Hey Ben, how are you doing? Hey Globe B Traveler, how are you doing? thanks for watching, y'all. Thanks for coming back on live with me. I just had to grab something to eat here pretty quick and come back on. But yeah, we're tracking this severe weather threat. The Storm Prediction Center has just updated the severe threat, and they still have a higher risk of tornado outbreak for the Birmingham, Alabama area, Jacksonville, Jackson, Mississippi, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Hoover, Alabama, Meridian, Mississippi. So that area will be under the gun and probably the highest susceptibility of possibly long track tornadoes, especially as we get into later on this evening. You have a significant tornado threat, a very rare 45% tornado threat as well, and to portions, getting into portions of Birmingham, Alabama, and Jackson, Mississippi. That is a rare sign to see of something so significantly high over the next several hours. Yeah, NAM3K says 6 inches. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I've been talking about that snowstorm for a while, Brennan, and it looks like the dynamics are coming together with dynamic cooling and everything for the Friday, starting as a rain event and transferring to all snow as we go through the overnight on Thursday night, getting into Friday morning, taking advantage of the coolest part of the day, and also with dynamic cooling. I think those two factors come together and produce that snowstorm. What software am I using? The WSV3. Yeah, so I just got this software, so I'm just kind of playing around with it. I was live earlier for a couple hours. I had to grab something to eat, so I'm coming back on board. No problem, Labedia. You're welcome. Hey, thanks for your hard work, pal. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I hope you ate lunch. Yes, I did, Diane. I did have some lunch, so that was a good break. For me, I started at 3 o'clock in the morning in Dallas, being live for 3 hours. I was just on live for 2 or 3 hours. I knew this was going to be a busy day, so but I wanted to come on and give you plenty of advance warning for these storms as much as possible, because there's so much activity happening right now. We already been through numerous tornado watches and warnings, and numerous tornadoes, not just on radar, but actually confirmed tornadoes. And as we zoom into the areas right now, we are definitely seeing more tornado, not just radar induced, but confirmed as well. So that's an area of concern as this is moving. These are all lifting off to the northeast. So the latest tornado you're looking at 10 minutes ago at 4:32, a confirmed extremely large, dangerous tornado on the ground located 5 miles south of Putnam or 13 miles southeast of Butler, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. It's a particularly dangerous situation, so do take cover in this area. If you're in the zone, these areas would be included would be the central Choctaw and northwestern Clark counties. Fortunately, it looks like those are mainly in rural areas. It does look like, according to the National Weather Service. So, but it is an extremely large tornado on the ground. We have not only radar confirmed, but we have spotter confirmed as well. You're in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. So, especially in the mobile homes can be destroyed, and considerable damage to homes with this extremely dangerous tornado that is on the ground between now and the next 15 minutes through 5 o'clock. So that is an extremely dangerous situation, and it looks like there's another one just to the northeast of that, just right on the cusp, and that's going to be following the same trajectory as the one behind it, heading towards the Linden area. So that particular storm, as the software loads, that'll be moving off to the northeast as well, and these storms are basically moving at 35, 40 miles an hour. This one was particularly moving at 40 miles an hour. It's 12 miles southeast of Butler, moving northeast at 40. Locations in this area is Linden, Thompson, Sweetwater, Dayton, Putnam, Freddie Jones, as well as Magnolia, Wayne, Miller, Choctaw State Park, Dixon Hill, Half Acre, and Octagon are in the potential zone of that tornado near Putnam area. So we have a lot going on, and it's going to be continuing throughout the night as this whole dynamic system is moving in from the southwest, and this is lifting up with extremely favorable conditions with updrafts potential, and this could be susceptible for tornadoes, and if not a few long track tornadoes, unfortunately, as well, that we're going to be dealing with throughout our time here. Hey, Sherry, how are you doing? Thanks for watching. Can I hear you? No, I don't physically hear you. I see you typing, but I don't physically hear you. Zoom out so we can see the full map. Yes, let's zoom out here. Let's get people a full depiction on what's happening. So we had what's happening earlier is we had that storm. We had some snow in Denver. We had the blizzard going on in Amarillo this morning. That transferred to a severe weather threat for the Dallas-Fort Worth area between, say, 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock this morning. That has since moved off into East Texas. Now that's into Louisiana. And this whole area is under the gun. Look at the areas in pink. That is your tornado watch, essentially all the way south from Louisiana into Arkansas, into Mississippi, Alabama, and getting into western parts of Tennessee and also parts of Arkansas as well. So this is all moving off to the northeast as well as eastward. So overnight tonight, this will move a little bit further east and be an overnight threat, more of a nocturnal storms overnight with an extremely dangerous situation with large track tornadoes is not out of the question as this continues moving off into the Georgia area. And then tomorrow we'll set up another significant severe weather day. This will be over the East Coast by then into South Carolina, North Carolina, as well as Virginia. That'll be setting the stage for Thursday, tomorrow. And then this will all end as a potential wet snow event for the Northeast, as one of the viewers indicated. They could be looking at the latest NAM model has 6 inches for the Northeast. Yeah, that's not probably out of the question. We've got some polar air moving down from the south. We've got this surging from the north. As this collides, that'll tap into some dynamic cooling, and it'll hit at the coldest part of the day, basically into Thursday evening, going into the overnight hours, into Friday morning. And I do feel this will be mainly a rain event, and then it'll transfer to an all snow event into the Northeast before this system finally moves out into the day and through the day on Friday. So, yeah, a lot of active things going on over the next 36 hours. Hey, Portland, how are you doing? Thanks for watching. So yeah, and it's just kind of getting going. It really kind of started with the basically the blizzard in Amarillo, and the severe threat started, essentially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, then expanded into Louisiana, and it's really active right now over the Southeast, and it's going to remain active essentially for back-to-back systems like that over the next really 36 hours. We're going to be under the gun for several states of a good swath of the Southeast and the East Coast under a significant severe weather threat. It's very rare that you even see a higher risk. It's the first one issued in 2 years. So and then a PDS watch, which is a particularly dangerous situation. That's what we're under right now. That is also a very rare sight to see, and especially given the time frame for this year, the middle of March, that it's rare in itself. And then continue moving off into the east, we also still have a moderate risk for severe weather tomorrow. That's a level 4 out of 5. So that is a very significant risk, again, for the East Coast, from Georgia, the Carolinas, into Virginia. They're going to be under the gun for tomorrow. Do you think any weather will occur there? Yes. Hey, Nolan. Yeah, for tomorrow, you're going to be under the gun for severe weather under Virginia. So you're on the cusp of a moderate threat for tomorrow as this moves up the East Coast. Yeah, let me just look at the severe. The latest Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow as this continues moving up the coast. This is the latest they just updated. Yeah, so half of Virginia is going to be predominantly an enhanced risk. So still level 3 in places like Roanoke, getting into Virginia Beach. I do think you're going to be, under the gun for that severe weather threat coming up on the end of the day on Thursday. So yeah, so there's definitely a lot going on. Hey, Silly Goose, thanks for coming back with me. I appreciate it. I just had to grab something to eat and kind of regroup, because I know this is going to be a long duration event. I mean, it's one of those things that's going to be over an extended time frame for a good part of the hours. So this is something that's just not going to go away anytime soon. And I wanted to kind of give you a heads up of whatever I can to keep you as safe as possible. So that's what my ultimate goal here is, and I love to get on board here and chat with you for a little bit as well, and get more on a personal basis versus the videos that I always talk about, where I'm talking for 15 minutes and I answer in the comments. So this way we can kind of connect more on a personal level as well, and also keep you as safe as possible. So all right, so let's get back to it. So you're in 5X champ. Yeah, it's a scary day. There's no two question about it. I mean, it's something we haven't seen in essentially 2 years. So it's a very rare day. It's tough to get all the ingredients to come together just all at once. The latest GFS V3 9 inches now. Yeah, that's the new upgraded. Oh, I think that's the new one that updated today. I think that's the new version rolled out today. So that'll be interesting if that verifies, because that is the latest and greatest new version of the GFS model. I haven't even looked at that myself. So yeah, but it definitely appears that Snowstorm is just getting more intense as new model data comes gets closer and closer. And right now it's Wednesday and we're talking a Friday event, so we could be we could be talking an even higher snowstorm as well. Kind of the last hurrah for say. Hey there, any more coming for North Central Arkansas? Hey Andrea, how are you doing? So let's zoom back into Arkansas so you can definitely see most of the stuff in Arkansas is lifting off into the northeast. So if we zoom in here, this is your zone. This is your zone that's under the tornado watch through 8 o'clock. So if you're basically if you're north central Arkansas, that's Little Rock. And if we kind of zoom in, here's Russellville. And if we zoom in even further, that's Batesville. So most of this is moving off into the north to the northeast. So depending on what part of central Arkansas you're talking about, it's probably not too bad for you. Hey, what's going on in Nashville? It's a live stream. Yes, this is a live stream. What's the outlook for the Nashville area? This would probably be later on this evening. Right now, you're pretty clear, but as this moves northeast later on this evening, you're going to be under the gun for severe weather in your area. Not as much as they're dealing with, currently right now, but still you're going to have some severe weather you're going to have to be dealing with later on this evening. It definitely dies down. So you're talking Nashville is on the cusp of just a slight risk to a marginal risk of storm. So a far cry of what they're experiencing down here to the south right now with the higher risk. So predominantly, for the most part, you're going to fairly miss out on the most significant severe weather threat in Nashville from this system. And then as this lifts off to the northeast, this will be set up over the northeast, and then in Nashville, even tomorrow is going to be again right on the cusp of say just a marginal risk of storms. So for the most part, this is just going to be some heavier rain for you, but for the most part, you're going to miss out on most of the severe threat. Hey, love watching your videos. The other person is good job. Hey, I appreciate you watching, Alan. I greatly appreciate your support. Is this happening near Chicago? No. Chicago's well north. There's no severe threat for Chicago unless it's today. That's pretty far north. Let me go back to today. Yeah, it didn't even make it to Chicago. There's no severe threat. I do have the super chat. Okay, I have the super chat up. I think someone it was up earlier. I do have that option. I think someone has to do it, then I have to acknowledge it. I think that's how it works. But I did get several donations earlier from the super chat, so I greatly appreciate that. Alrighty, 60 tornado warnings today, with 5 of them being PDS. Yeah, it's been a significant day. I was on earlier and we had almost 8, 9 tornado warnings at the exact same time. So it's been a crazy day to try to keep up with all this. And it's a very dangerous day. And predominantly it's been mostly in Mississippi and Alabama, and that's where the highest threat has been. And we're still dealing with that well down to the south. These are just severe thunderstorm warnings down here and south of Louisiana here. So still stronger thunderstorms, but not the tornado threat they're dealing with in Mississippi and Alabama. Cool, you found it. You're awesome. Thanks for your support. You're a pin to the top. You're awesome. Thank you. Yeah, you watch my videos every day, and I know you always comment. So I saw Portland was pretty chilly this morning. It was like 34 degrees or something. It was pretty cold. But no, I appreciate you watching, especially the live. this is kind of cool to get a little bit more connected with a lot of you that follow me on a daily basis. I do recognize a lot of the names here, and I have a lot of fun with it. I didn't do a video this morning because I figured I was going to go live and I'd be talking about the exact same thing. So I wanted to kind of give you a more personal forecast for this particular event than what I normally do, because this is more of a now time type of event. That's happening right now, and the same thing would be tomorrow. I mean, the same severe threat shifts off to the East Coast for tomorrow. So they're going to be dealing with that severe threat for tomorrow for South Carolina, North Carolina, into the Virginia area. Do you see any threat firing up in Mississippi? Yeah, absolutely. The threat in Mississippi has not gone away, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon, as this is lifting off into. You can definitely see even right now we've got a significant. Looks like even tornado damage happening right now. Tornado warning for central Choctaw and northwestern Clark has expired. Okay, we're coming up on 5 o'clock now. So that one is just now expiring as we speak. And this one is radar-induced tornado. These are all lifting off to the northeast at 4:54, so 5 minutes ago. This severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Sweetwater, or 15 miles northwest of Thomasville, moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. Areas that are going to be of concern is in southeastern Marengo County until 5:30. That is your tornado warning. Locations in the path are Linden, Thomaston, Sweetwater, Dayton, Freddie, Jones Field, Consul, Magnolia, Wayne, Miller, Dixon Mill, Half Acre, Ogden, getting into Nicholsville, as well as Calvary. So all those areas going to be under the gun for a possible tornado, at least radar-induced tornado, lifting off into the northeast at 35 miles an hour. Yes, I will definitely be live tomorrow for the Carolinas, Ted. Absolutely. Live tomorrow for East Coast severe threat. Yes, I definitely plan on doing coming back on. So talk about what's happening in Houston again. If you're already, I got a little bit late. Houston should be Houston. What's happening in Houston? Anything happening in Houston? I thought it cleared in Houston. Yeah, there's nothing going on in Houston. Everything's cleared in Houston. Yeah, we're good in Houston. Nothing's happening in Houston. Pretty much it's gone in Texas. I mean, we had the blizzard this morning in Amarillo that dumped a lot of snow in the Panhandle. We had the severe threat over Dallas between 3 and 6 o'clock this morning. Now they're dealing with some heavier winds in the backside with the wind advisory till 7. But for the most part, it's clear. I mean, the temperatures. Let me put the temperatures on here. There we go. Yeah, it's 63. So 63 in Dallas. As you can see, the cooler air filtering in at least half the state. 39 where it snowed in Amarillo earlier. 52 in Lubbock. So those cooler temperatures have made it all the way into Dallas. It's only 57. The high was 83 yesterday. So that is definitely a substantial drop. 25-degree drop from yesterday. So it's a fairly strong cold front for this time of year, as this is moving across on the backside. And as we get into Oklahoma City, I mean, 45 degrees. That is some definitely chillier air on the backside. But the name of the game is out in front of it, where they're dealing with those 70-degree temperatures, where it's still susceptible for that severe threat. And getting into Arkansas, as one mentioned, here's your threat for Arkansas. We currently don't have any active tornadoes. These are just severe thunderstorm warnings currently right now, but we do have that tornado watch for this area highlighted here until 8 o'clock. So you can definitely see where the temperatures are in the 70s. That's probably going to be a little bit more your susceptible threat for still tornadoes possible through 8, where it's dropped into the 50s and 40s. That's just a little bit more your severe threat hanging on, but that'll clear out shortly because all this is moving to the northeast. So hail in Missouri. Let's go to Missouri here. Columbia. Yeah, you're probably right on the edge of that hail, which, okay, this is Missouri. So this is Springfield, Missouri. So you're probably right on the edge. Oh, there is a tornado. This one got hidden. So there's a tornado possible right on the edge here at 5 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm was located over Garfield, or 13 miles northeast of Rogers. Golf ball size hail. So that is typically 1.75 inch hail, moving at with 60 mile per hour wind gust. So that would definitely do some damage to your car with golf ball size hail for sure. Locations in its path are Seligman, Wheaton, Washburn, Wrigley, Exeter, Caseville, Butterfield, and Wayne. So those areas will be under the gun of that larger damaging hail, golf ball size hail, and some 60 mile per hour wind gusts that are moving at 30 miles an hour. That was just at 5 o'clock. And that actually goes for the next 45 minutes. So for the next 45 minutes, you're going to be under the gun for that 1.75 inch hail. And it's indicating a tornado possible that spun up with this one. You can almost see the little hook possibly as we're trying to see some that's probably where it's at here, right here, where it kind of hooks out. That's probably where we're seeing the tornado right now. Possible, at least the radar indicated, as this moves up in those areas over the next 45 minutes. Cool. Now I just have to worry about Nashville, then go back to work. Sherry, you're awesome. Thanks so much for the awesome donation. Thanks for all you do to bring us accurate weather forecasting. You're the best I've ever seen. I appreciate it. Extremely helpful for those areas as well. I hope it's safe to plant outdoors now. Yeah, so remind me what area you live in. Are you in Dallas? I can't 100% know for can't remember, but I definitely appreciate that awesome donation. That's greatly appreciated. But if you're talking about Dallas, to get to 32 degrees in Dallas again is probably not going to happen. We typically our last freeze is March 12th. And we do cool down to probably in the 38 to 40 degrees, but actually an actual freeze, especially at DFW Airport, we're probably in the clear by now of a freeze coming up. And if it might be one of those nights that Round Rock, especially in Round Rock. If you live in Round Rock, that's a nice area. I love Round Rock. If you live down there, you're definitely good. Happy planting this weekend. I don't think it's going to freeze again. This is weird weather, right? Anywhere else in the globe? Yeah, this is definitely weird. I mean, it's been a lot of moving parts, considering where we came from with 17 tornadoes and just in Amarillo on Saturday. And then literally 5 days later, we had a blizzard warning going on today with some very heavy snow in that area. So just 5 days later, especially in Texas, for that to occur. And then what we're seeing back-to-back snowstorms. We had that 27-inch snowstorm in Denver. They had more snow that hit them that brought the blizzard, and then all the severe threat that we're working with right now for the South and Southeast. Then with that possible snowstorm in the Northeast coming up, essentially the first day of spring, basically. So yeah, that's a very, very dynamic system that's moving across the U.S. and a quick mover. It literally goes from the California coast to the Northeast in about 4 days. So that's fairly fast. Okay, you watch Irving too. Yeah, I don't live that far away from Irving, maybe 20 miles. Yeah, there are some signs we might get a colder shot by next Thursday time frame, where the highs might cool down back to the 50s. But I mean, it looks like we're there today. I mean, it's high of 57 right now. That's not the high because the high was actually this morning at midnight. It was 72 degrees at midnight. So that's the official high, over the 24-hour time span. But the afternoon temperature right now is 57 degrees. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Andrea. Has he said anything about Southeast Kentucky? Well, let's look at Southeast Kentucky. So I know we talked about Kentucky earlier. It was right on the cusp of severe weather for the most part. You're going to be predominantly under more of a slight risk for severe weather. So for the most part, you're going to miss out on the severe weather. Just some heavier rains as we kind of move into that area. Here's Lexington. There's Louisville, Kentucky, Bowling Green area. So you're seeing some heavier rains moving up 65 there. Light to moderate rain, but nothing severe. And it doesn't look like there's not going to be too much severe weather as this moves across. And even tomorrow, I do think those areas that won't, you won't get this, the severe threat happening even for tomorrow. So yeah, so the areas that need to take cover now is essentially the same areas, Alabama and Mississippi. So technically right now we've got 3 tornado warnings right now. This is in Meridian area. This is a tornado observed. So let's zoom into this area here by Thomasville. This is an area that's been under the gun for a while at 5:03. So as of 7 minutes ago, there was a confirmed tornado located over Miller, or 10 miles south of Linden, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. There's been a damaging tornado in quarter-size hail. This is a confirmed tornado. It's not a radar observed tornado. So this has actually been witnessed by a storm spotter. And this will be lifting off to the northeast at 40 miles an hour. And its path would be Linden, Thompson, Sweetwater, Dayton, Wayne, Half Acre, Octagon, Octon. No, it is Octagon. Octagon, Consul, and Freddie Jones Field Miller is all under the gun for that tornado threat between now and 5:30. So for the next 20 minutes, definitely be on the lookout for a tornado in your area. And these are all lifting off to the northeast. This is another radar-induced tornado. And this one's also lifting off into the northeast. That was at 5:01. That's moving at 40 miles an hour. It'll be located near the Valley Grande area. So the locations in its path would be Valley Grande, Paul Negreist State Park, Valley Creek, Johnston, Subtle, Barrett Creek, as well as Summerfield will be under the gun for that radar-induced type tornado until 5:30. And this also just keeps continuing lifting off to the northeast with 2 more possible tornado warned, severe threats. So that makes 4. And this would be continuing to lift off into the northeast, where we possibly have yet another one by just north of Birmingham here. for another possible tornado. That was at 5 or 4:54. So that started about 10, 15 minutes ago. That one's moving to the northeast at 25 miles an hour, and that's going to be near Gardendale. The locations in its path are northern Birmingham, Gardendale, Fultondale, Central Point, and Clay, Pinson, Terrett, Adamsville, Warrior, uh, Kimberly, Grayson, Morse, Brookside, County Line, Cardiff, Charkville, as well as Cherie and Palmerdale. So all those areas will be under the gun for not just a radar induced, but this looks like a tornado observed in this area heading to the northeast over the next 30 minutes. So that's look at the trajectory of this particular storm as this is lifting off to the northeast, maybe to the Clarence area, and eventually maybe Albertville and your area will be susceptible for possible tornado heading in your area. Yeah, hopefully I'm pronouncing a lot of them correctly. I know I'm mispronouncing some of those because these are all different names. Some of them I've never seen before. I'm familiar with a lot of counties, but there's no way I'm familiar with every single county in the United States. Talladega for sure. I know Talladega. All right, let's zoom out. Mobile. I had a question about Mobile. Mobile. That's south, isn't it? Mobile, you're way south. Yeah, for the most part right now, it looks like you're fairly clear. I would think you'll probably be more under the gun as this setup by Lafayette, by New Orleans will be later on this evening because a lot of this is lifting northeast. So this will not hit you. This you're probably waiting for this particular event by here by Lafayette and Macomb to come through later on this evening. So nothing in Mobile currently right now, but you're 77 degrees and you're still under that enhanced risk for severe weather later on the night. So definitely by tonight. So it's definitely like the calm before the storm for your area as you're going to be preparing for that severe weather to be in your area later on this evening. I would imagine if it's 5 o'clock now, it probably puts it in your area closer to, 9, 10 o'clock, I would say at least. That this is going to be predominantly an overnight event for you in Mobile. Yeah, the high risk is just north of you, mainly in Jackson, Greensville, getting into Birmingham. That area is the higher risk for severe weather and would be the worst area to see those higher impact of tornadoes and more, stronger, if not, bigger tornadoes. Yeah, look at some of the footage on Twitter. Yeah, we had the time change, so it's not gonna be dark for another an hour or so. Yeah, that was the one earlier. Confirmed tornado near Birmingham, Alabama, near Gardendale. Memphis, Tennessee. Let's go back up to Memphis and see what's happening in Memphis. There it is. There's Memphis. We're under the tornado watch. These are lifting to the northeast. So here's your tornado warning here. And then here's colder air coming in. So, these are lifting northeast. So that looks like that's going to be missing you for the most part. And then there's cooler air coming in. It doesn't look like that much of a severe threat for Memphis. You're basically on the borderline of that tornado watch that expires in an hour and a half. And from what I'm seeing, these are moving northeast, that most of this is going to miss you. So you might be in the clear of Memphis. Log Cabin Diva. I like the name. I like me some log cabins. Hey, Pamela, how are you doing? We just got together for a barbecue sometimes before the weather gets too blazing hot. Yes, absolutely. You know how Texas is. It warms up quick. I like how you say Southern. Yeah, I'm sure I pronounce some of these words differently than different parts. Like I know pattern. I know people pick on me how I say pattern. That's just how I say it. I don't know how else to say it. So pattern. It's not like I'm trying to say it wrong. It's just that's just how I always say it. Hey May. Oh, you're awesome. Thanks so much for your support. I'm happy to help. Thank you for warning people and probably saving lives. Yes, it's a dangerous day. I mean, it's something that we haven't seen in 2 years. So definitely it's important to be on here is to kind of keep you as safe as possible because these, like one viewer mentioned, 60 tornado warnings. That's crazy. It's hard to keep up with all this. But there's a lot going on today. Pal Ponder, hey buddy, just got here. When will this bad weather come through Charlotte, North Carolina? Stone Man. So Stone Man, that'll be tomorrow. Nothing happening today, so rest easy today. But tomorrow, you're going to be under the gun for a moderate risk for severe weather, including all three modes of hail, damaging wind, and that tornado threat that they're dealing with right now in the southeast. It probably won't be as bad what they're happening right now in the southeast, but still a significant threat with a moderate risk and a 30% chance of a tornado. So I'll be back on. Definitely hang with me today, but I'll be back on live tomorrow, going over the Northeast. I mean, going over the East Coast event, which will be predominantly South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia tomorrow. All those areas are under the gun for a moderate to enhanced risk for severe weather for tomorrow. Do you know if it'll come through Georgia, Jerry? Yeah, Jerry, the Georgia threat is later on this evening, like way later on this evening. Yeah, if we take a look at Georgia here, let's zoom out so you can kind of see what we're working with. Yeah, there's Atlanta. Yeah, we're seeing some rain kind of moving in and into the Atlanta region. But for the most part, nothing's happening right now. This tornado watch expires at 7. So I would imagine this just gets extended into the Georgia area as we go into the overnight this evening, because that severe threat will be over the Georgia area as we get basically, say, west of Atlanta. You're more of an enhanced risk in this area. As you get, say, east of Atlanta, that's getting into the more of the slight to marginal risk for severe weather, and this will extend into the day tomorrow. As we go into tomorrow, let's look at tomorrow here for you. So tomorrow, yeah, that you're in more of an enhanced risk, and now that east of Atlanta tomorrow is going to be probably the highest threat for severe weather, getting into places into Jacksonville, all the way into Jacksonville, basically east of Atlanta. This whole area tomorrow is under an enhanced risk for severe weather for tomorrow. So your bigger day is tomorrow for a severe threat in the Georgia area. At my house, we had some lightning, thunder, and 1.24 inches of rain. This is far west Kentucky. Yeah, so for the most part, predominantly, you just had the rain in Kentucky. You're going to miss out, predominantly on most of the severe weather, which is good. Hey, I might take you up on that, Sherry. I appreciate your help. Sometimes, I'm a one-man show here because I do Facebook as well. I do YouTube. I have several other sites. So to update everybody on the sites, sometimes, and the weather can be 7 days a week sometimes. Well, the weather is 7 days a week. When you're doing it nationwide, there is no break. So there's always some weather going on somewhere. So the latest WRAP model has widespread area of 6 or more inches. And Massachusetts, Rhode Island. Yeah, I've been talking about that snowstorm in the Northeast for a while now. And it's definitely looking like it's coming together for sure. Every update, it looks like a little bit more higher potential. Yeah, I'll be updating on the snowstorm for tomorrow. For sure. Because that's going to be a bigger event. That's going to be a pretty big event in itself. Because for the most part, most people thought they were done with the snow in the Northeast. From what I was gathering in the comments. Laugh out loud 7 days a week. Yeah. There's always 11 7 days a week. Yes. But it's fun. I mean, I love what I do. I love the weather all in itself. But yes, I appreciate you reaching out, extending the offer. So Southwest Missouri just went through hail and straight line winds. Just felt like a tornado. Just light rain now. Thank you for being there with us and keeping us updated. You're welcome, CQ. Thanks for watching the live. Yeah, March snowstorms have a tendency to come up on you. I mean, the dynamics were there for a while now in the Northeast for it to be people when watching my videos, it's 19th and 19th and 19th and 19th. Been talking about that for a week, really. Even though the models didn't have it for a good chunk of the time frame, and now it's happening. It's just the upper air dynamics. We had the drop in the SOI index. We had the MJO going into some colder phases around this time. So those are several dynamics that were coming into play. And then, of course, it's all about timing and weather as these systems were kind of moving through, and the speed of calculating all that together would put it over the Northeast by around the 19th time frame. So even though the models didn't have it as far as like some snow, it's just they weren't seeing the upper air support this far out because it's March. It's not like it's January. So it's hard to see. It's hard for a model to see snow far out, especially in March. But as it's getting closer in, it's definitely seeing all the dynamics come a little bit closer together. And I do feel like it's still going to play out for the Northeast. How many tornado warnings are still in effect? Okay, you're awesome. Check you out in Portland. Got a jet, but I love your channel and your work. Thanks for making Portland more livable. Hey, I appreciate your support. You have a great day. Be safe out there. Come back tomorrow. I know you're in Portland. Nothing's happening, but I know you love the weather just as much as I do. Okay, sorry. We asked someone asked for how many severe thunderstorm how many tornado warnings are still in effect. So currently we have those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 currently. So still very active. Most of these are still a few of these we've already talked about. That's still going on. This one's through 5:45. This one by McGee is in through 6:15, so that's probably a new one. All right, so until 6:15 at 5:20, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Taylorsville or 11 miles east of McGee, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. People in line for this storm is going to be at Cedar Ridge at 5:30. That's right now in Raleigh at 5:35, and Pineville at 5:50, and Garlandville and at 6:15. So in those areas, you need to take shelter of a producing tornado that's going to be in your area in those time frames, because it's moving at 40 miles an hour between now and 6:15 until it reaches Garlandale. And let's move up. So these are predominantly all lifting off to the northeast. We'll zoom in here. This is in north central Clark County in southwestern Alabama. Until 6 o'clock at 5:20, they had another severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 10 miles west of Fulton and 10 miles northwest of Grove Hill, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. So you're going to be under the gun for that tornado threat. For those areas that are included, Thomasville at 5:40, Pine Hill at 5:55, Yellow Bluff at 6 o'clock. Those are the areas that will be under the gun for this particular tornado warning until 6 o'clock, as we just have numerous tornado warnings. If we go up the coast by Thompson, by Selma, we have yet another tornado warning that we're having a deal with, as this is also lifting off into the northeast. And that in those same general areas. Yeah, small stream flood advisory. But you can see the trajectory of this storm. This is all lifting off to the northeast, and these are how these train in the same area, because they typically line up. There's another radar confirmed tornado by Billingsley area. And just to the south of that, we actually have an observed tornado just to the south of that area. So there's definitely still a lot going on with 7 active tornado warnings. There's your small stream flood advisory. But this one looks like there's a tornado confirmed in this area. That's got some some less than 1 inch hail. If this is lifted off to the northeast, so there's definitely a lot. There's still a lot going on. 7 tornado warnings currently right now. It's dark overhead. Hey, Christopher, thanks for coming back. Oh, in Atlanta? Yes. So if you're in Atlanta, there's Augusta, there's Macon, here's Atlanta. So you're probably looking off to your west. This is what you're noticing right now of this tornado watch. We highlighted Atlanta earlier. You're going to be under the gun for a severe threat later on this evening. And then tomorrow it picks up on the east side of Atlanta, where you're more into the enhanced and almost into a moderate risk as you get towards South Carolina. So this area in Atlanta is definitely going to be an overnight event, unfortunately, coming up for Atlanta. Yeah, you can see it's 61 degrees as those 70-degree temperatures are coming your way. That's more your susceptible atmosphere for severe weather. Let's go back up to Arkansas because it definitely looks like there's or right on the cusp of Missouri here. It looks like there's a tornado warning right now in Cassville. That's got some larger hail with it. That's got 1.25-inch hail. That's loading. Let me try it again. Here it is at 5:25. So that was just 9 minutes ago. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, but is located near Seligman, or 7 miles south of Cassville, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. Locations in the path with a 1.75-inch hail. So that is golf ball size hail. That is definitely damaging hail. And Roaring River State Park, Shell Knob, as well as Eagle Rock. And those areas are going to be under the gun until 5:45. So for the next 10 minutes, we'll have that tornado threat as well as a hail threat as well. And there's also possibly another tornado forming at ahead of that system with a 1.5-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. There's also a tornado possible with that. And yet we have another one that's looks like it's forming too. Radar-induced tornado with this one with 1.25-inch hail. And it looks like with this particular storm, we have possibly even a possible tornado. So there's definitely some active weather as we head into portions of Missouri here. A tornado warning remains in effect until 5:25 for that storm in Cassville. Locations in the area: Roaring River State Park, Shell Knob, and Eagle Rock. So there's areas will be under the gun for that severe weather. As all these storms are lifting off into the northeast. Yeah, it's so embedded here. This is just east of Joplin, Missouri. It's definitely cooled down in Joplin, so you're not that far away for being out of this area, but it's definitely looked like it's pretty active right now in those areas. There's so many watches and warnings going on. It's so active. Yeah, this hail's bumped up to 1.75. Yeah, this is lifting off the northeast until Mount Vernon area into Miller. That particular storm with that possible tornado and golf ball size hail in the pink area. That is your probably more significant hail. And that area, that's lifting off until Mount Vernon into Miller areas as well down to the southeast. So not only you're dealing with a possible tornado, but you're also dealing with that golf ball size hail as well. And that's moving into Mount Vernon as well as into Miller and down to the south by Purdy. We also have another tornado warning that's warned on radar that's also lifting off into the northeast, and that one's till 6 o'clock, and that was producing a tornado near Purdy over Manette, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. The tornado has half dollar size hail with it. So northwestern Berry County and southwestern Missouri is under the gun between now and 6 o'clock. So for the next 22 minutes, locations in its path are Pierce City, Verona, Pleasant Ridge, Purdy, Monet, as well as Ferristat areas will be under the gun for that possible tornado, as well as half dollar size hail as this continues lifting off into Berry County. Hey, Lawrence. Yeah, I think you were asking me the other day when I was going to go live. So here I am. No, I definitely plan on doing a lot more of this for sure. And I'll be back tomorrow as well for the Carolina region. So I appreciate you coming on board and watching. Yeah, Birmingham. Yeah, that's where most of the action has been all day, is down in Birmingham. So let's go back. Let's go back to Birmingham and zoom in. Let me zoom out and zoom back in. All right, so there's Montgomery. There's Birmingham to the northeast now. So okay, as of right at this moment, it looks like that one cell has moved through. So this one's all down to the south of you in Birmingham. That's not moving your way. You can definitely see this is lifting off into Sachs. And all these cells down here are all well to the south, and these are all lifting off into the northeast. So for at this moment, you're fairly in the clear. This is the area that would be lifting into your direction. So you can definitely see, you definitely have a little break in the action for say right now. But you're definitely susceptible for more severe weather later on this evening. If we zoom out, like these three right here will miss you, and this one looks fairly close to you. So you might actually get this one in about an hour or so. If this holds together, right now it's a tornado warning. It doesn't mean it's going to hold together for that long. But yeah, it's still fairly active. We still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just in Mississippi and Alabama. But we got definitely more tornado warnings up here in Arkansas and in Missouri. Yeah, mainly in Missouri. It looks like it's crossed the state line. Northern Bama got hit. Yeah, I think they did get hit earlier. We were talking a lot about Bama earlier. You're interested in storm chasing. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to learn in storm chasing. And this is one of those days, is not a day to learn with. This is a day for the veterans, and anybody that does it has to be very, very, very careful. This is a dangerous day to be out. All right, let's move into Jackson. Looks like this is just a severe thunderstorm warning, which on any given day is still a significant threat. I mean, a severe thunderstorm warning is a significant threat in itself. But when you're dealing with, 60 some odd tornado warnings just within the 4 or 5 hours, gonna get wild. Yeah, I mean, later on the night, it definitely looks like a little bit more prime. Been watching some of the latest updates. That those peak hours still look to be between 7 and 2 o'clock in the morning. I haven't even gone to the latest 3K run. Let's look at that real quick. All right, so that's right now. So yeah, it looks still pretty active in Mississippi and Alabama, getting into northwestern Georgia by 8 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, there's a line coming through the borderline of Alabama and Mississippi with pretty active thunderstorms. And it looks like a solid squall line by midnight, right in the heart of Mississippi. So you can literally draw a line from New Orleans through the middle of Mississippi. Looks like a solid squall line happening at that time frame. This is at midnight. And then this doesn't really go anywhere. So that's when we could have, gosh, wow. Those that's when that long track tornadoes, unfortunately, time frame. Because these radar depictions they don't go anywhere. That's 4 o'clock in the morning. That's 5 o'clock in the morning. That moves very, very little. Wow. And these are just training over the same area. Even 6 o'clock in the morning. That's like 6 hours. Yeah, tonight could be bad. Yeah, in Mississippi and Alabama, there's that line that literally just crawls, and it's a solid line. And it looks like that's where you're going to have those training thunderstorms or training tornadoes. Georgia by 3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow. Looks like it's in the heart of Georgia, getting into South Carolina. And I think that's when it starts getting up to the coast into the Carolinas. Yeah, so definitely a long night ahead for Mississippi and Alabama. That does not look good at all. And still, it looks like the highlighted time frame is around, getting in closer to 10 o'clock. It seems like with those at 10 o'clock, it's right over the heart of Mississippi. And then it gets into Alabama. So yeah, definitely a long. Yeah, sleep in a storm cellar would not be a bad idea if you got space in there, because it's an overnight event, or you're just not going to be able to sleep. Because looking at some of these, the latest model runs and the short range resolution models, it just doesn't go anywhere, and it's like a skinny line that moves maybe 10 miles every hour. It's not much. And it literally just trains over the same areas. Wow. Yeah, that is definitely the time frame we're looking at. Is going to be an overnight event into the wee hours of the morning when a lot of people are sleeping. This is not a good setup. So if you got a storm shelter, and if that's a space that you can sleep in, that's not a bad idea to sleep in the shelter tonight, just to be safe. Yeah, they won't be able to sleep after work. And I know you got to be home all day. And literally, by the time you go to bed at, say, 10 o'clock, I mean, it's like prime time, severe weather. And it's an all night event. Didn't even move out till like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. It looks like, wow. So it's really active now, but it looks like it really gets active later on this evening. Mm. Just tuning in. How bad is Chattanooga, Tennessee supposed to get hit, Stephen? All right, let's look at it. Yeah, I know Tennessee was one of those areas that's going to be, predominantly missed out on some of the heavier. Knoxville, Greensville, Athens, Cooksville, Chattanooga, down to the south here. Yeah, right now you're getting the rain. Most of this is lifting northeast. But the severe threat definitely subsides a lot because it mainly moves east. It doesn't move northeast. It's mainly moving east. The whole entire line is, per se. But Chattanooga for tomorrow, there's nothing. There's no severe threat for tomorrow. Let's look at later on today. And yeah, not much. So you're fairly in the clear. You're going to get rain and stuff in Chattanooga, but for the most part, it's not too bad. You're going to be kind of it's going to be basically to the west of you today and to the south of you, and then tomorrow it'll be more to the east of you and the south of you. So for the most part, you're going to miss out. Is there anything heading towards St. Louis, Missouri? Let's look at St. Louis. There's the Arkansas area. There's Springfield. There's St. Louis. Again, you're going to be missing out pretty much. It's a little far north. This is mainly south of you. So right now you're not even getting any rain, and you're more or less in the marginal risk, if that. And you're right on the cusp of the marginal risk. So I wouldn't expect terribly too much severe weather from this. Just some rain. And then especially as we move in tomorrow, it's going to be east of you. So for the most part, St. Louis is not going to be hit with this system. I mean, these are lifting northeast, but the whole line is moving east. So by the time it actually makes it to you, it'll be south of you. Where are you from, pal? I live in Dallas, Texas. Yeah, I've been in Texas all my life. I grew up in Houston and I moved to Dallas back in the early 90s, middle 90s, and I've been here ever since. Mother Nature is mad at something. Yeah. This is definitely an active day, especially for the middle of March. I mean, this is something, it wouldn't be that out of the ordinary too much to have this happening, like say late April into May, but to happen in the middle of March is definitely a rare event in itself. Yes, lots of prayers for the people tonight. That's for sure. It definitely does not look like a good evening down in the southeast. Let's see, Twitter. Man, I wish we were getting some of that storm. Drought's been bad. Yeah, some places are still dealing with the drought. Central Indiana. I don't think we've talked about Indiana yet. Let's talk about Indiana. So, yeah, you're way north of this system. I don't think you get much of anything from this system. This is all to the north. Yeah, by the time it gets to Indiana, it really weakens a lot, if anything. And then for tomorrow, It's mainly along the East Coast. And as you get into Indiana, yeah, I mean, it really fades out a lot. There's a slight risk in Ohio, marginal risk on the far outskirts of Indiana, but hardly anything. I mean, it's barely you're touching Indiana. Yeah, for the most part, Indiana's going to miss out on this. I think Phoenix the other day got some rain in Arizona. Regards from Hillsborough, North Carolina. How is it going to be here? Yeah, it's all tomorrow, Zuli. It's all tomorrow event for North Carolina. But you are under the gun. We have a significant threat for tomorrow. So everything they're dealing with right now in the southeast, you're going to be dealing with tomorrow in North Carolina. So they're under a marginal, a moderate risk for severe weather for tomorrow, and pretty much a good, eastern half of Georgia, pretty much all of South Carolina, pretty much all of North Carolina, really, and and then it starts fading as we get into Virginia Beach and stuff. But what time frame? Whew. It's. I mean, it definitely looks like going to be more of a afternoon into the early evening, because it still has to move. It has to go a long ways to get to North Carolina. So let me zoom out here. Yeah, so I mean it's literally here, and Alabama here. Not even really made it to Georgia. So it's got to pass Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. So it's got to pass 3 states. So by the time it does that, it'll be closer into the afternoon hours tomorrow, into the evening. Not too bad in New Orleans. Yeah, you're for the most part right now, you're missing out on a good chunk of the severe weather because it's all to the north. So you're 79 degrees. See, look, I mean, you've been in kind of that drier slot, if you will. I mean, look, everything's to the north. I mean, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning not too far away from you. You got a lot of rain heading into Morgan City, but right now you're high and dry in New Orleans. But that's not going to happen for too long, because I do expect these cells to eventually make it to your area later on this evening. But for the most part, you're going to miss out on a good chunk of this because it's not going to last that long, because all these are moving east and then predominantly northeast. So once you get past this in Lafayette, then you're going to be done in New Orleans. So you might have, maybe an hour or two of some bumpy weather. But for the most part, after that ends, then that'll move out, and you'll experience what they're experiencing right now in Beaumont, just clear skies. And it looks like it's going to start for you maybe by 7 or 8, I would imagine. So by 10 o'clock, all this should be clear in your area. Guys, did you hear that Dorian and Laura was retired today? Oh, from the World Meteorological Organization, decided to stop using the Greeks. Oh, really? No, I did not hear that. They're not going to be using the Greek alphabet next year? Hurricane Center. I know they recycle the names. Bi Alpha, Eta, Greek alphabet ditched for hurricane names. Well, there you go. Well, what are they going to use? Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because originally how they were going to do it, they were gonna call like Ada 2020, and then we'd have Ada 2021 or something. So I'm glad they decided against that. Has a nor'easter ever happened in May? Um, I mean, I'm sure it has, and as long as I've been tracking records for 120 something years, but it'd be a rare event. April for sure. May is probably pushing it. I mean, a nor'easter, and I mean, it's definitely snowed in Vermont, New Hampshire, and upstate, into Maine and stuff in May. Closer by the coast, it's a lot less likely. Would I risk myself being a storm chaser? I mean, you know, definitely not on a day like this, for sure. There's no way I would even subject myself to something like this today. There's so many tornado warnings coming out at all different angles, and most of these you're caught on country roads, one lane roads, backed up traffic. It's way too dangerous today. No way. On a much lighter day, just to see from a far view, with couple tornadoes here and there, and yeah, but not nothing. No way. No way today. Does anyone know if there will be a tornado in Huntsville? I mean, you can't guarantee a tornado in your exact city, but you're definitely susceptible for tornado like conditions for sure in Huntsville, Alabama. Absolutely, you're under a fairly significant tornado threat, of the possibility of a tornado. Yeah, you wouldn't do it either. Yeah, most people wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know who's all chasing. I know Reed Timmer's chasing, but Reed Timmer chases any day. That's an extreme veteran that's done this for 25 years. But even him can still be caught off guard. But someone that doesn't know what they're doing can be put themselves in a dangerous situation in no time flat, and be caught like a sitting duck when there's tornadoes on all sides of them. The whole Greek alphabet got retired. Well, that's good because it got kind of ridiculous last year. It got kind of ridiculous. Honestly, I wish they would go back to start. I wish they would name these storms that. I guess what I'm saying to say, it has to have at least 40-mile-per-hour winds for 24 hours or more before they put actually a storm name to it. These storms that get named, and then they only be named a storm for like 7 hours or so, is it's kind of ridiculous. I don't understand that, but I would say put a time frame on having a closed low for at least 24 hours, at least, especially when it's out in the middle of the ocean and stuff like that. If it's out by land, for sure, name it. But when it's out in the middle of the ocean like that and you name a storm, it's only a storm for like 12 hours. And there was probably like 5 or 6 of those last year. So although 30 was impressive, that was a lot of storms. There definitely could have been, 5 or 6 of those that were probably questionable to even get named. Well, it used to be a hobby thing. I'm actually making it more of a full-time thing. No, I don't mind you asking. No, weather has been a hobby for many years. In fact, probably 30 years. But I'm probably doing it more full time now than ever before. So you will see a lot more of me. March 1980, there was a blizzard in eastern North Carolina. Would you rather be chased by an F5 or get stuck in a category 5? I don't know. That's either way, that's deadly. The thing about the hurricanes, you kind of know they're coming. They're well predicted many days in advance. An F5 tornado, you have not that much advance warning. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I'll definitely keep up, doing the videos. I definitely try to do a video every single day in the mornings. So ultimately, if I can do a video in the mornings and then if there's some active weather going across the nation, do some live in the afternoon. I'm definitely open for that. I enjoy this right now. I don't like the severity threat that's going on right now, but I do like the interaction with talking to people and communicating and getting to know you more on a more personal basis, for sure. So this is the fun part. I love predicting the weather, but I also like the social aspect of it as well. Sometimes, doing a video and you're just talking in front of a computer and then, communicating, but just on typing, communicating back and forth, doesn't have the same impact as you're talking back and forth, a little bit more personal basis. Yeah, both EF5 or Category 5, they're both bad news. Wow, it's dropped to 55 in Dallas. Look at that. 39 in Oklahoma City. Wow, they're dropping. They actually might freeze tonight. I think they have another freeze. That's only 7 degrees. Yeah, you can see what's coming. I think even in the southeast, by the time Thursday and Friday hits, tomorrow in the southeast, you're gonna be experiencing some of those cooler temperatures as well, which is gonna be a welcome sight. Hey, awesome. Hey, I appreciate your support, NYCAD. It is definitely appreciated and greatly. Not freezing in the piney woods. Cheers, mate. I like that. Why is he not answering any of us? Yeah, I've been answering all of you. What's your question, Gracie? Yeah, I'm happy to answer your question if you have one. If you had it, maybe I missed it. I live right in the area where the tornadoes are going to be happening most likely. All right, let's zoom back in to Mississippi and Alabama. This is the favorite area we've been talking about all day. All right, so let's start off to the south here. This particular cell is in Jasper County at 548. There was a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Turnerville or 14 miles north of Stringer, moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. That is booking it. locations in the path are Garlandville at 6:05. That's already right now. So that's coming a little late because that's just about to expire in 7 minutes. So that one started at 5:48. So that didn't actually last that long. It was about 20 or 30 minutes. But because of the movement, look, it's moving at 50 miles an hour. But it had some radar indicated rotation with it. If we kind of zoom in here, tornado possible. And by Thomasville, there's another tornado indicated radar tornado. And this area by Uniontown at 5:59, there was a severe thunderstorm located 9 miles southeast of Coffeyville or 10 miles west of Grove Hill, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. This has some 60-mile-per-hour wind gust along with it. Locations in its path are Thomasville, Grove Hill, and Fulton, and has some 0.75-inch hail along with it through 6:45. So for the next 30 minutes, that's also lifting off to the northeast, and we have one just to the left of it as well. Tornado warned, and we have another one by Uniontown as well. These are all lifting off to the northeast, and this particular cell at 5:53 was located near Central Mills, 8 miles southeast of Uniontown, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. Locations in its path were Marin, Uniontown, Bogue, Cheeto, Vaden, Marin, Junkston, Central Mills, Suttle, Perry County, as well as Radford and Vaden Field Airport areas. Oh, you live in South Carolina. South Carolina is tomorrow. So that'll be tomorrow, Gracie. So I'll be back on live tomorrow for South Carolina, but not much happening today for South Carolina because everything's tomorrow, as it's still basically in Alabama. But it'll probably be reaching your area by late morning into the afternoon. Yeah. So yeah, the Carolinas are definitely for tomorrow. Yeah, if we zoom out, here's the Carolinas right here. There's not much happening. Yeah, there's some rain coming in because all this is lifting northeast, but the main threat is here. Has to come across into Georgia as well as into the Carolinas. So by the time it reaches you, that'll be, early tomorrow. Today in North Carolina, 61 degrees. Yeah, this is the temperatures right here. Tomorrow shows 71. Well, that's because you have the warm front coming in. But back behind the system will be nice. Yeah, what about Georgia? Yeah, Georgia is kind of the same thing. Later on this evening, if you live essentially, west of Atlanta, you're going to be under the gun for that severe threat through, say, midnight. And then after midnight, it'll be further, west of Atlanta as you get into the wee hours of the morning, going into early tomorrow morning for Atlanta. So it's definitely going to be an overnight event for you coming up in Atlanta. St. Louis area. Yeah, let's zoom into St. Louis. Yeah, I think we talked about St. Louis earlier. We're at 54 degrees, so you've definitely cooled off already. And I do feel probably a lot of this that's happening in Springfield, Missouri right now is primarily going to be missing you because this is lifting northeast, but it's also moving east. And because you're so cool already, I don't think you get much. And And look at KC, you're down to 37. So winter weather advisory. Oh, you're probably going to get some of that. Are you going to get some of that snowstorm the Panhandle had moving northeast? Let me look at the watches and warnings. Oh yeah, yeah. You get a little bit of that snowstorm in parts of Kansas. Getting into yeah, you're getting a little bit of that snowstorm from the Panhandle, lifting northeast. Yeah, I mean it's 36 degrees, it's down to 37. So as you cool into the evening, you have that winter weather advisory. Hey, no problem, Stephanie. What about East Knoxville, Tennessee? Yeah, so for the most part, Tennessee was going to be fairly clear. Um, how East Tennessee, especially for today, tomorrow as it comes up the East Coast. Yeah, I mean you definitely could have a severe threat tomorrow. You're kind of like into the slight. It's mainly in the Carolinas, but it does extend a little bit into your area. Not terribly too bad, but it does extend into your area. Um, where's the radar? Software. There. What about Cherokee County, Georgia? Expect tonight. Cherokee County, is that I mean Atlanta's going to be on the borderline. Um, yeah, so here's Birmingham. So basically, I'm not sure exactly where Cherokee County is, but if it's east of Atlanta, if it's west of Atlanta, it's going to be between now and midnight. If it's uh, east of Atlanta, then it's going to be after midnight and into the wee hours of the morning. But all this severe threat is moving your way, and tomorrow the Storm Prediction Center after midnight has you under a enhanced to moderate risk for severe weather in this area right here. So Atlanta would be up next. I mean, Georgia would be up next. Hook light feature heading towards Hattiesburg. Is that the one? Beatrice, Mobile. Maybe this is the threat. Yeah, it looks like these are just severe thunderstorm warnings, but you're probably talking about this little segment right here, lifting off into Hattiesburg, going into Richton. Yeah, right now it's not tornado warn, but I definitely see what you're talking about. Yeah, that cell is that's moving a little bit more east. Yeah, it is moving east. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Mississippi, Lamar County, southeastern Mississippi, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. It's at 6:12, so that was 6 minutes ago. Located along the line extending from Melba to 6 miles south of Baxterville, moving east at 55 miles an hour. So that is definitely booking it. Places in the area of Summerall at 6:20, Lumberton at 6:25, uh, Rawl Springs at 6:30, Rock Hill at 6:35, and Brooklyn, Maxey, and McLaren at 6:40. So those are the areas going to be under the gun for that severe thunderstorm. That is beelining towards the east. Yeah, this is interesting. So we're watching a shift. It looks like these storms are moving more east now than northeast. That is a noticeable change from earlier. Hold on, I'll be back in a second. All right, I'm back. Yes. Exactly. Great cloud. Our weatherman said the storms were trying to rotate, moving into Jonesboro. All right, let's go back to Jonesboro. Jonesboro. 75-mile-per-hour winds in North Carolina tomorrow. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, they're dealing with 60, 65 right now. So by the time it makes it into, yeah, I believe so, Ross. Yeah, I think New Orleans is about to get nailed here shortly. They've been kind of into the clear, but they still have to. This line right here still has to move through, and that's going to be packing a punch. But the good thing is, once that clears, we got nothing behind it, so they'll probably have an hour or two, 2 or 3 hours of rough weather. But probably by I would say 11 o'clock or so, they should be definitely in the clear by then. Yeah, if you get 1 or 2 inches of rain, Ross, in New York City, then it'd be interesting to see how much of that is going to be snow. Because I do think you get cold enough for snow. The best weather guy on the net. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks, Gray Cloud. Definitely been drinking my water. Yeah, I know, a slushy snow. I'm not talking about sticking snow. It's a wet snow for sure, but it's a snow. But it'd be interesting how much you get. Yeah, I don't see any snowball fights or anything like that. It's gonna fall to the sky and melt on contact. But it's gonna be a snow. Yeah, right. All right, so let's zoom out here. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's go back up to here and Springfield. Definitely cooled off in St. Louis for sure. We've got a lot of action going on right now by Crane, just inside of Missouri here. At 6:13, so 11 minutes ago, we had a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 8 miles southwest of Crane or 13 miles south of Aurora, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. Areas in the path are going to be Crane, Madrya, uh, Wellerville, Elsa, and those areas with 0.75-inch hail moving at 30 miles an hour until 6:30. So for the next 6 minutes for that particular one, that looked like not only radar induced and indicated, but actually observed a possible tornado out of this system. Another one down to the south that originated at 6:20. That tornado producing storm was located near Crane or 12 miles southeast of Aurora, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. That had some ping pong size hail to it. And that's also until 6:45. Locations in that path are the same areas, Crane, Elsie, and Wheelerville. So they got, looks like back-to-back systems as this is lifting off to the northeast. Yes, some ping pong size hail can definitely do some damage. That's 1.5-inch hail. That's definitely can do some damage to some vehicles. So it'll be interesting what they do here with this tornado watch. Because it expires at 7 o'clock. If they let it expire, they continue it. I would imagine they would continue it. Yeah, all the cars should be in the garage. If you're susceptible for 1.5-inch hail or higher, all your cars should be in the garage, especially anywhere in this pink zone. I mean, basically, if you're in this pink zone, then you need to be not only are the cars in the garage, but definitely be on high alert for a more of a tornado threat, and probably not make plans for this evening to go out. Probably stay at home and just stay in for the evening because there's just way too much bad weather happening. We've got almost entire states under tornado watches. We got half of Louisiana still. We pretty much got all of Mississippi and Alabama. We got parts of Western Tennessee. Yeah, we essentially have almost entire states under tornado watches. The Northwest, yeah, Portland 61, Vancouver checking in at 55. Pretty clear out west. Christopher, California in the 50s. Nevada and 55. Yeah, someone mentioned it was chilly. And Vegas. Yeah, 64. 64 in Vegas. Flagstaff's down to 48. I think they had some snow earlier. 57 in Los Angeles. That is definitely cool for them. 34 in Denver. Harrisburg. Have your duck and cover spot ready and an emergency backpack already here. Shoes by the bed. Absolutely. All right, let me see. So, wind and bigger cell. Eureka and the Missouri. So Mississippi. Hattiesburg. Doug, Nashville looks great. Birmingham. Yeah, Mississippi and Alabama are the two, definitely the two states are going to be under the gun for severe weather. Yeah, we just look like we have this possible tornado here by Thomasville and Groveville. At 6:21, so say 10 minutes ago, that was a severe thunderstorm warning near Fulton or 6 miles south of Thomasville, moving northeast at 40 miles an hour, wind gusts at 60 miles an hour in the area. Would be Thomasville as well as Fulton of the possible tornado in the area between now and 6:45. And this is lifting off to the northeast at 40 miles an hour. So there's the path of that storm into Yellow Bluff and just north of Camden here as it moves off to the northeast at 40 miles an hour. Don't be late for supper. Yeah, I just ate. I just had some food an hour or two ago, so I'm probably good. Yeah, light rain in Morriston, Tennessee. Yeah, let's zoom out to. Had a couple people ask about Tennessee, which is for the most part you're going to be pretty much in the clear for severe threat. Mainly have some rain lifting north, but this whole system lifting northeast and is moving east. So you're pretty much on the borderline for any type of severe threat in Nashville into Tennessee. Not really expecting too much. So Doug, you're pretty much in the clear in Nashville, I would say. Not too bad. That colder air has almost made it to San Antonio. Yeah, I can hear the wind whipping outside. Let's go back on. Yeah, full remote tomorrow. That's a good thing. I'm on my Twitter feed and they're saying about talking about schools being on remote learning tomorrow. Further enlargement of low-level photographs will maintain the risk for tornadoes with both discrete supercells proceeding into a squall line, then forming within the squall line. Yeah, so I was looking at the latest 3K kilometer model, and it definitely looked like these systems train overnight into Mississippi and Alabama with a long, skinny line of training type thunderstorms, possibly producing tornadoes, even long track type tornadoes later on this evening. I'm reading the latest mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. Not a good setup tonight. Yeah, linear convection, strong upstream. And they literally come up here and go vertical. They're like, do this type number. Yeah, it's a lot cooler here in Central Texas. Yeah, if you're in Round Rock, it's like north of Austin, down to 64. There's Colleen. There's Round Rock. There it is. Yeah, just north of Austin here. Yeah, 68's nice. Absolutely. And it'd be cooler tonight. $46 tonight in Round Rock. Yeah, so 46 tonight, and then they drop to 42 tomorrow night. That's going to feel nice in Central Texas. Wow, you're live. Hello. Yes, I'm here. Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate you tuning in. Yes, that was snow in Wichita. That's the snow they had in the Panhandle this morning. Is going to be lifting northeast, headed your way. Believe it or not. Yeah, parts of Kansas is under a winter weather advisory. Yeah, so let me look at the advisory. Winter weather advisory until 7 a.m. Thursday. Plan on slippery roads. Hazardous conditions could impact the morning commute. As a winter weather advisory has amounts possible along east of the Kansas Turnpike. Winds gusting at 35 miles an hour at times. It looks like a mixed type of precipitation expected, with total accumulations of anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. So not a big event by any means, but any snow this time of year is but yeah, we have some 35-mile-per-hour wind gusts to it. And it's 35 degrees right now. And it looks like you have that rain transferring to some wet snow into into the Wichita area. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at through 7 o'clock in the morning. Check on Maryland. Well, Maryland's you're going to be possibly into that rain mix on Thursday night, Friday as the system comes up. There's no severe threat or anything, but as you yeah, as this system comes across, there could be some. I don't know if the rain snow mix makes it all. I know the rain does. I don't know if the snow mix makes it all the way down into your area. Maybe along the I-95 corridor, but it's pretty far south. Let's see. Yeah, let's just say Baltimore. Yeah, 100% chance of rain, low around 40. So if you transfer to any snow, that'll be a very, very wet snow if it happens. But predominantly a rain event for you. But no severe weather. But it looks like a pretty, significant rain event. I mean, we're looking at about 1.5 inches here in Baltimore. Years ago, I was preparing to taxi to the runway. I talked to ground handling, and then the tower, the controller got his number wrong and told me an altimeter. How many twisters so far? That'll be too hard to determine. The National Weather Service has to go back and analyze all the data. There's been numerous tornado warnings. There's been at least 60 or 80. There's been too many to count. But getting the final count on the tornadoes will be a couple days. Hey, Cherie, here's my website. It's ponderonweather.com. Everything's under ponderonweather.com or Ponder on Weather. Yeah, so go check it out. Yes, it is St. Patrick's Day. And I don't have my green on. So it is St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, 45. I mean, the number could be at least that for sure. There's been a lot. There's been a lot of tornadoes. I was guesstimating 100 by the time the day's over. And there were 17 on Saturday with that outbreak in the Panhandle. So that just goes to show you how active a day, how active a day this was, and it's still going to be. And it's a 2-day event. What was the number on April 27th? 300 and something, 327, something like that. We're not going to get anywhere near that, but still, double digits is a lot. But be talking about 100 tornadoes in a day is pretty extreme day. Is basically what this is. And the season's just starting. Absolutely. That's probably the most scariest thing about is the season's basically just starting. So we got about 10 weeks left of this. And even sometimes in June, it could be pretty active. Will Virginia get any severe weather, Ross? Yeah, that is all tomorrow. Eventually, up into Virginia Beach is under enhanced risk for tomorrow, but that'll be closer into later on the day on Thursday. But it's all heading up there. Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Twitter. What's my Twitter? Everything's Pal. It's either Pal Ponder or Ponder on Weather. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Yeah, Pal Ponder. Pal Ponder on Twitter. Yeah, I'm on pretty much all the platforms. I'm mainly active on YouTube and Facebook. Those are my two main active platforms. I'm starting to get a tad bit more active on Twitter. I definitely can be. And then Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I haven't done TikTok. I haven't got into TikTok. But of course, there's only so many social media platforms you can do. But I've had my Facebook page probably 4 years in Dallas. I forecast for the Dallas market where I live. I've had that page for 4 years. So it's under Pal Ponder on Weather. And of course, I got the YouTube channel and then the Instagram. I'm not terribly that active on, and then also the Twitter account. Centerville, Tennessee, look like. Yeah, for the most part, Centerville, unless you live in Western Tennessee, you're going to be pretty much in the clear for severe weather. So it's not going to be too bad for you guys in Tennessee. Some rain, yes, but not terribly too much severe weather. So let's zoom into New Orleans again. It's probably getting a little closer now. Yeah, that rain is right on your doorstep here. This line might be moving just maybe a tad bit north of New Orleans. And that line looks like it's moving south. Severe thunderstorm. We're located between Pankscourtville to near Stephenville, 7 miles south of Burns Point, moving east at 30 miles an hour, has some nickel-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Yeah, so New Orleans is fairly in the clear right now, but that system's moving your way here shortly. Hammond, Louisiana is bad right now. Franklin, Hammond, Louisiana. I'm not sure. It has to. I don't see it. That's where I'm at. You're probably in this zone right here where they have the two severe thunderstorm warnings. Yeah, it's 6:40. The severe thunderstorm warning was located along the line near Payne Courtville to near Stephenville to 7 miles south of Burns Point, moving east at 30 miles an hour. That has some 60-mile-per-hour winds associated with it. Yeah, again, we've seen a transition from more of a northeast to an eastward movement uh, from what we saw earlier in the afternoon. Here's Hattiesburg. Severe thunderstorm warning until 7. That'll be some 60-mile-per-hour winds heading towards Rixton and the area of Chapman as well as Milry for the severe threat. We got this cell tornado watch until 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh wow, that's a new one. So they just put that out at 6:45. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, they extended the tornado watch until 3 o'clock in the morning for all these counties in Alabama, which is predominantly, I mean, I would almost say the entire state of Alabama is going to be under the gun later on this evening for that tornado threat, which has now been extended till 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the severe threat we've been kind of highlighting from 7 to 2 o'clock in the morning. So they went ahead and extended that tornado watch for that time frame for this whole area. Yeah, you can see it. They originated at 6:46 and it goes to 3 o'clock in the morning. That whole area in pink, which is pretty much the entire state of Alabama, getting into portions of Mississippi. Yeah, definitely. Hey, I appreciate you watching, Damien. All right. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. So basically, Birmingham, Montgomery, Meridian, Laurel, Hattiesburg, Columbus, Jasper, and the Valley. That tornado watch for several strong tornadoes are likely. Scattered hail up to ping pong size and wind gust of up to 80 miles an hour under that tornado watch. Again, another PDS watch. So basically, back to back PDS watches. A particularly dangerous situation between now and 3 o'clock in the morning for all those areas that are under the gun. Hey, I appreciate it, Cherie. I got your message. I will be reaching out. Thanks so much. The National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center said 6 in Alabama, 2 in Mississippi, and 1 in Louisiana. No injuries were reported. Yeah, that is what's confirmed so far. Yeah, so it'll be a while before obviously they have time to go out and assess all the damage and rate these storms and give them a proper classification. Right now, we can just mainly guess based on the tornado warnings, but there's a lot. There's going to be a lot, and it could take a week or so before we figure out the actual final number out of this. All right, so Let's go back. Wow, yeah, that is a rare sight to see back-to-back PDS watches issued like that. Man, I mean, considering what they've been through already today, and for them to just get reissued another one for another, how many hours is that? 8 hours? Another 8 hours under such a high-risk tornado watch like that is really unheard of. All right, so let's zoom out here. So we got 1, 2, 3 currently. Let's remove the temperatures so we can actually see this better. Okay. There's 3. Yeah, it looks like things have kind of quieted down for a little bit, all things considered. Yeah, some 60-mile-per-hour winds heading towards New Orleans area. Some higher winds heading out of Hattiesburg. There's that tornado warning that we talked about here. Heading towards north of Montgomery. It looks like 3 tornado warnings currently, which is still a lot on any given day. But considering we've had up to 8 at one time. Tornado warning until 7:15. Wow, the wind is really whipping at my house. Tornado radar, indicated radar. Yeah, that is lifting off into the northeast. Yeah, at 6:43. There was a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Good Hope, or 8 miles southwest of Coleman, moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. Tornado and quarter-size hail with that storm. Locations in the path are Coleman, Good Hope, Dodge City, Baldwin, Vinemont, Phelan, Logan, Crane Hill, and Smith Lake, with some 1-inch hail. No TikTok, no. I can't get into TikTok. What is it, like some 20 or 30-second little videos? I don't know. My wife's like, you're way too long-winded for that. So I am also 45 years old, so it seems to be more of a younger generation type thing. Yeah, the sun's setting on the nightfall here, so that's when things could get turned south in a big way, because we're not going to be able to see these things. All right, let's go back to this thread up here in Missouri. Go ahead. At 6:50, there was a tornado-producing storm with heavy rain across the warned area between 2 to 3 inches. Yeah. Oh, flash flood warning in this area, because this area looks like it's been kind of sitting there for an extended period of time. Heavy rain moving across the warned area between 2 to 3 inches have already fallen. Flash flooding is occurring and expected to begin shortly. Areas included in the flash flooding are Monet, Aurora, Mount Vernon, Caseville, Marineville, Crane, Sarcoxie, and Purdy. Those are the areas that we under the gun for that flash flood threat and possible tornado threat too. So there's a lot going on here, right here just south of Springfield. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning at 6:38, 6:48. We're located along the line extending from Cleaver to Highlandville to near Reed Spring, moving northeast at 35 miles an hour, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Locations included in the path are Sparta, Ozark, Spokane, getting into Selmore, as well as Burner. So these areas are going to be under the gun for that severe threat, as well as a possible tornado. So we got flash flood watch, we got severe thunderstorm watch, we got even a possible tornado along with 60-mile-per-hour winds. So this is an active zone here. And that's going to be in Sparta at 7:25, and Rogersville at 7:34, and Diggins at 7:52. For Berry County. So that storm just seems like it has not moved very much. In Berry County. So I know we've been talking to that for at least an hour or so. Yeah, so this tornado watch goes until 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the one they extended. Even down to the south here in Mississippi and Alabama. When I'm in the path of a severe storm like this, I'm parking. Nope, no way. Yeah, exactly. You're going to be caught in the road in this weather. Yeah, the wind is really whipping at my house right now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing yeah, we're under that wind advisory, man. Man, it's really I could see the fence kind of shaking. I mean, it's clear as a bell, but we have that wind. Hey, Cherie. Yes, I think it's fairly slow moving because the whole system was moving northeast, and we're kind of making that transition to more of an eastward move. So I think that's where we're seeing the transition to a little bit a slower movement, moving off into the east. They're not moving it, booking it nearly as fast as they were earlier. Yeah, look at that, 31 miles an hour. These things earlier were moving at 55. Yeah, I agree. Western Tennessee. Yeah, you're right on the cusp. It might be later on this evening. Just probably maybe it hasn't happened yet as this is slowly lifting off into the northeast. But yes, for the most part, you're fairly on the edge, and it shouldn't get terribly too bad. 60-mile-per-hour wind can flip a truck like nothing. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the updrafts we're seeing. That wind can get underneath the bed of the truck and then lift it up and flip it like a pancake. Yeah, usually the Storm Prediction Center usually updates around 7:30. So their last update was at 4:37. Usually the day of, they update pretty much every 3 to 4 hours. So they'll be given a fresh look in about 20 minutes. Tomorrow's update was last updated at 12:30. Yeah, I saw that, Danton. Yeah, 55 degrees. It's nice. Just dropped to 54. Oh, 48 in Denton. Look at that. That's some chilly air. But the winds are going to be dying down here shortly. Yeah, Denton will drop in the 30s tonight. Yeah, gust right now, 36. Temperature 48, dew point 36, wind 25, gusting to 36, relative humidity 62%. So definitely some higher gust right now. Down here to the south, 41-mile-per-hour gust. Pretty much, I'm expecting a storm system to come through Monday night. That's the next system, but fairly dry for the rest of the week for sure. Yeah, for the most part, Beaumont and the Alexandria, Shreveport, all these areas are into clear for severe weather. You're pretty much done with the severe weather threat. This is all shifted off to the east of you. And it'll be hitting New Orleans here shortly. They've got that tornado watch till 9 o'clock in that area, which is about right. So all that should be done by 9. And you should be clear the rest of the evening in New Orleans after this moves through over the next hour or two. But all of it's heading towards Georgia. And then up the Carolinas for tomorrow. Live. Yeah, let's go back to the the possible snow heading into Kansas City. Wichita, there's some, yeah, there's definitely a winter weather advisory for Wichita. We're starting to see a little bit of a change over here into more of a wet snow. They're expecting possibly 1 to 2 inches of snow out of this same system that came out of the panhandle of Texas. Dinner's cooking. Dinner is definitely cooking. Wow, even snow into Kansas City. Amazing stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Kansas City, the low is 36, but it looks like a changeover to kind of a rain snow mix overnight into Kansas City. High is 45 tomorrow. So there's a snow mix in the morning, and obviously by the time it reaches in the 40s, it'll be too warm to snow. But kind of a wet snow coming up for you guys in Kansas City. Wow, so far there's been 3 PDS tornado watches today. The one that expires at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the one that was issued earlier on today at 11:35, and there's another one that overlaps the 3 a.m. So there's technically 3. So far for eastern Mississippi and much of Alabama has literally been under or going to be under a PDS tornado watch for more than 15 hours straight. That is a long time to be under such a high tornado watch risk. Yeah, and according to the latest short range mesoscale models, it definitely looks like Mississippi and Alabama really gets active probably around 10 o'clock this evening. And that window between, say, 10 and 3 o'clock in the morning looks highly favorable for tornadoes. So definitely have your weather radio handy tonight. I mean, if you can sleep in the shelter, please do, because it's one of those nights. It's a dangerous night ahead. There's no question about it. And if it's a 2-story, sleep downstairs on the lowest level of the house. You know, the most interior room of the house, if you can find it. But that's the time frame I'm looking at, is pretty much between 10 and 3 is your most active time frame for Mississippi and Alabama area. That's just a bad, it's a bad time frame. A lot of people are going to be sleeping, and it's going to be nighttime, obviously. Going to be rain wrapped, and these things are booking it so fast. Just a dangerous setup. All right, y'all. So definitely have your plan B in place for later on the night for all these areas in pink that are in under the tornado watch. So I appreciate y'all tuning in this evening. I'm gonna be heading off to dinner here and probably taking off the rest of the evening. I've been up since 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm gonna get some rest and just be safe tonight. This is an overnight event for sure, and I'm gonna be coming back on live tomorrow for the Carolinas and updating you on that storm as well. So I appreciate you guys watching the live stream. Y'all definitely be safe out there, and we'll pick it back up tomorrow. All right, y'all have a good night.